All right, good morning, Mr. Maurice.
Sir.
Sir, you're charged with the offense of theft. You're facing up to $60,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 30 days in jail, credit for the 26 that you've done. Is this how you understand it?
Yes, sir.
I guess is the evading being dismissed?
Yes.
As part of the agreement, the evading arrest that you have is being dismissed. How many thefts is this for you?
First one. My first
Are
one.
you sure?
And I know of my first one.
Well, because what I'm trying to impart to you is that this is an enhanceable offense, meaning that this is now one. If you have at least one other one on your record, the next time you're looking at a felony charge instead of days, it's years. So the next time you get an itch, be very, very careful because it could cost you many, many years of your life.
Yes, sir.
You understand? You're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you accept this agreement, you can never change this or undo this. It will go on your record. It'll be there forever. From now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
It also alleges here that you had a prior burglar of habitation from 2020 in the 178. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay, true to the enhancement. All right, sir, how do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Yes.
Oh,
If
guilty.
you're not guilty of the offense, don't plead guilty. I don't
understand-
know.
I understand the way you have worded.
Yeah, are you guilty or are you not guilty of the
Yes,
offense?
sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, I'll find you guilty. As a part of the plea bargain agreement, the evading will be dismissed. You've got to also understand that evading is also an enhanceable. A second evading is a felony charge. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir. Thanks.
Thanks, Judge.
Thanks.
Here on Sean Angriano.
Come up, Mr. Angriano.
Other way.
Are you with Mr. Angriano? Come on up, Mom.
Came back positive, Your Honor, but I would like to see the levels on the test because before all this, he was a
Don't care.
heavy marijuana user.
Come up, Mom. Thank you so much for coming. So you're familiar with the case he has? Were you here with me the first time? Okay. So he's young, and I asked him not to do two things. Not drive like a, maniac, and not to smoke marijuana. I tested him September, and I gave him a warning that if you test positive again, that tells me that you've continued to smoke, and it's unacceptable, and there's only one place for it. He has continued to smoke. So guess what happens now? I told you when you got here last time, don't do anything to put yourself in a position where you're still testing positive. It's been a long time. It's been a month and a half now, and you continue to test positive.
They didn't send my first test to the lab. You could see that my levels went all the way down. I haven't smoked not once. I was a strong smoker for 3 years straight. I promise you, I have not smoked.
How old are you now?
I'm 18.
18. So since 15, you've been that heavy of a smoker?
He was with my mom in Oregon for a while, but since last quarter, he's only been home. He just got a job.
And we did get a PTI program for him. He has been working on his GED.
Still smoking?
I would like to see the levels. I do know that.
Sure,
in a lot of,
I will give you anything you want, Hugh. It's an open book, it's an open door, but you're staying with me. And then we'll see. If you show me something different, great, but I warned you. I told you what to expect if you continued to test.
I haven't even smoked though, that's the thing. Why am I getting arrested if I haven't smoked?
You know how many people tell me that on a daily basis? We are now nearly November 1st. I tested you in the beginning of September. If you would have stopped smoking, you would not have anything in your system at this time. Goes with you?
We get a outside judge.
Sure, of course. Mom, don't go.
No, I asked her, because I need,
Okay. Just come,
you can go forward.
come this way. I want him to know that we mean business. We're not out for blood. So what I'm gonna do is probably 2 days, and then I'm gonna let him back out. Okay, and I'm gonna bring him back out, and I'm gonna tell you, I hope you now realize that we mean business. You know, I'm gonna test you again in another 40 days. If you continue to test positive, that tells you that you've continued to smoke. And we're just gonna play this game until you're clean. So I'm not out for just, throwing away the key. That's not what we want. We want him to be productive. We want him to graduate. We want him to get his GED. And that's what we're working on. I mean, the idea here, what we had was to, and the most important thing is to get his high school diploma. And for me, I don't want this case to go away until that happens. But he's still playing around, and I have to show him we mean business. This is the only way. And I'm sorry, but hopefully it's a blessing in disguise. The bond's at $100 now. I'll set it at 5,001. We'll bring him back Friday morning. I won't. No, come on, man.
So I'm sorry. Okay, this Friday, yeah.
It's Friday.
For some reason, I was thinking it was.
I
Okay.
said, Hugh, we're not out for blood.
Yeah. So,
But
okay,
he's got to know that we mean business. So hopefully that's enough. Don't tell him.
When will court be? At the same
Friday,
time?
2 days. Yeah, I'll put it on for Friday. And then I'll admonish him Friday that he's got to continue with his GED, no smoking, and I'm going to test him now all the time to make sure he's not smoking. And we'll pull levels and we'll see if levels are higher than what they are now. And I'm going to give you now, I'll get you to get the levels now so we know what they are. And we'll go from there. Okay, we really want what's best for your son. You don't have to pay for it. Well, if you pay for it, he's going to get out. That's up to you. I'm going to let him out for free. I'm going to reinstate his bond. I don't want you to pay. I'm going to do everything so you don't have to pay. I'm paying for everything here now anyways. Really, a lawyer, just everything is getting paid for by us. Right? I don't want you to have to pay. Okay? So we'll put him on for Friday. We'll bring him back out, but don't tell him, because the worst fear of being in jail is the fact of not knowing when you're going to get out. Jail stinks. There's no clocks. There's no windows. It's awful. And the worst part is not knowing when you're going to get out, because that really works on you, So with that in mind, okay? All right. We'll see you Friday. Okay.
Miss Ely, and we are ready to take a plea on that.
Last name?
Ely, E-A-L-Y.
She's got bond violations though.
She does, Your Honor. I have not seen the report, but
Or you want to just do the plea today?
we have already done the paperwork, Your Honor, and
Okay, I mean, because it's 1,500 days old, so
I understand.
let's just do it.
Have her.
Oh, yeah, she can be that.
She'll be there. Right. Thank you.
What was the bond violation for?
Your Honor, it was for alcohol use. She was at a catering event, and we believe it's nail
I didn't use
polish.
any, I didn't have any.
Blah, blah, blah. Miss Ely, in life, excuses go in this ear, they go out that ear. What is important are actions. That's what rides. Your case is 1,547 days old. We asked you to do one thing. Two, show up and don't use.
Judge, I'm sending you over the report right now. And Judge, I would like to say it was, all of our spare devices, they're sent to a specific officer that's very thoroughly trained in it, and it was a confirmed positive, and that's the report that I'm sending over right now, I'll show the distribution levels as well. Judge, you have to.
So we have one date that she's consuming alcohol on a Saturday night. I'm not doing this.
I was at work.
Take a seat for me in the jury box. man. We got to work something else out because I think we're setting her up for failure. She can't even just 1 week stay without drinking after years and years of years of, I think that Mr. Elick, I think we're setting her up for failure, which you will just end up with a conviction and then perhaps wrap her car around a pole the next week. Not on my watch. So I think that we need to monitor her, make sure that she's not going to go out there and do some more permanent and serious damage, you know? So probation is what,
Have to be the 177th like now.
go,
So
go. I don't want you to get in trouble. Can you come back? Go, come back. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Elick, you ready?
okay. Let's see what comes.
You know, it really scares me to think that not even a couple days can go by and you test positive for alcohol. I mean, either you just don't care about bond conditions or you have a problem, you know?
Am I allowed to speak?
So, no, there, at this point, there's nothing that you can say. You know, my kids, I've got a ton of kids, Miss Ely, and when they do wrong, I try to, you know, I try to discipline them. And when they tell me sorry because they did something wrong, you know, I hug them, I give them a kiss on the cheek. Buddy, I get it. I'm sorry. When they make the same mistake again, I'm like, look, I told you before, you're doing wrong. This is why. And then when they make the same thing again, and they try to tell me sorry, I'm like, but do you think I believe that sorry? You keep making the same mistake and you want me to believe that you're sorry? Just man up and tell me you just don't give a rat's behind. You know, here, do you not see the analogy? Over and over. Your case is 1,500 days. We set cases for trial at 180 days. If you have a problem with alcohol, Miss Ely, you better address it, because if you don't, I'm going to do it for you, and I promise you're not going to like the way that I do. If I find that you test positive for alcohol while you're on this probation, I will put you in a rehab facility. Do you understand? It is a minimum of around 6 to 9 months if you respond well to treatment. If you don't, you're looking at about 1.5 years. All we want are our streets to be safe. That's all we want. You give up a lot of rights by entering into this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported. excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal, Ms. Ely, meaning that once you accept this agreement today, you can never change this. The other thing I'm going to tell you is that this DWI will go on your record. If you ever get pulled over and you have even the remote faintest smell of alcohol, chances are you're going to pick up a second DWI, and everything doubles up on a second. From now on, you are looking at a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up in here. If you get in a car, I hope that you don't even have a sip of alcohol, because it's going to cost you a lot, man. As part of the probation, for you to complete it successfully, you must do a J.A.s, which is an evaluation to see what other conditions you may need. If they assess further conditions, you must fulfill them. You must do a thinking for a change, driving while intoxicated, education class, 2 victim impact panels. You must have a guardian interlock, no breath test refusal. So if you're pulled over and an officer asks you to submit to a breath sample, you must take a breath test. No drugs, no alcohol. Have you looked up to see if she has a valid license, Alex?
Your Honor, she does
I
not.
don't
She
drive.
does not drive. And
And making it, you will be signing an affidavit with me today, Ms. Ely, that you're not going to drive while you're on this probation. The worst possible thing you can do is drive. I'm telling you, there's no better way to assess a lengthy. Just don't drive. If you want to drive, all we ask you to do is get a license, get insurance, and then you must have an interlock on the car. Because you're not driving, you must get a portable breath test device. 3 days to get the device. How do you plead to the offense of driving while intoxicated, man? I will find you guilty. One more thing I'm going to tell you is the worst possible thing that you can do is stop reporting. Because if you stop reporting, we're going to issue a warrant for your arrest. If you ever have problems with the DWI, just come back and we can talk through it. To me, I don't care about money. I will waive your fees on everything that I can. I cannot pay for outside classes, so that I can't pay for, but everything I can, and I will pay for you. It's never about the money. It's about doing what you say that you're going to do and staying drug and alcohol free for a year. Can you see if she qualifies for TAP funding?
She's unemployed, based on information she gives me, so I'm gonna send you.
Why are you unemployed?
I work overnight at a club, but I haven't been going since I have the things on my legs. Like I work as a bottle girl, so I haven't been going since I've been having these things on my legs. Because of the outfits that I have to wear, I can't go to work with those on my legs. So I haven't been working 2 weeks.
So how are you getting income?
Right now I stay at home with my mom. And I'm let me rephrase that. I'm currently enrolled in cosmetology school from 9 to 5, and I just graduated phlebotomy school too. So I'm doing stuff.
Is it perhaps the lifestyle that's not, it's bringing you down?
I was trying to get it. That's why I've been going to school. So
Great, good. That's what yes. And that's what we want with you, Miss Ely. Sometimes if you're in a bad environment, it's going to drag you down. And that's what we don't want. We want to see you flourish. We want to see you become the great person that you can, But I don't know if it's the environment that's taking you down, but if you can, get into cosmetology, or that would be great.
in school, I go to school from 9 to 5.
When are you going to graduate?
I don't graduate to April. It's 6 months. I don't graduate to April 15th. And I just graduated phlebotomy school last month.
Did you say phlebotomy school?
Yes.
Okay, so can they
couldn't get
set you
a job
up
in
with a job?
Yeah, I couldn't get a job in phlebotomy because this kept coming up on my background, so I could never.
So that's why you finally came to get stuff taken care of. You can run. You can't hide forever. It's gonna come back to you one time. Okay, cut all her fees, please. And then let's see if she qualifies for TAP funding. We're gonna try to get you to qualify for TAP funding so it pays for everything for you. Like I said, if you ever have a problem, just come back and talk to us. Don't take off because it's the worst thing you can do. Also consider it's gonna go on your record. So if you're ever driving, even a remote smell, it's not gonna end up well, man. All right, how do you plead to the offense? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
I will find you guilty. I will follow the agreement, sentence you to it. I'm not going to suspend your license, ma'am. But if you don't have a license, don't drive. Go back to DPS. They can help you get a license. It's not hard. You know?
I did show her what she needs to do for that.
What's that?
I was able to pull that up and show her what she needs to resolve before she can get that.
Here is the number to the DPS driver's license division. You might give that to her. If you call them, you can ask them and they will tell you exactly what you need to do to get a license back. When you call them, don't call at 8, don't call at 9. You have to call right at 7 in the morning because otherwise the phone lines get so busy, you'll never get through. Trust me, when you call them, if you want to get your license, that is, call them at 7 o'clock sharp. You'll never get through otherwise. All right, good luck, man. Thanks. Yeah, wave it all. Mr. Ely, let her know that I've also waived her DPS fines and surcharges so that we're taking off around $3,700 so that she understands, please. With all the court costs, what's the court cost? 5 or 7?
No, I haven't done it. So it'd be
It's-
like around maybe 3,000 and something.
No, it's at least 3,500. If not, it's gonna be like 37, give or take, because of how many times she's,
The surcharge is at least 3.
right, it's at least 3,500.
I will let her.
Okay,
Can I get the
thanks.
order? Are you able to sign the dismissal? Yeah. Page 2?
Mr. Baldillo, you were charged with reckless driving. You're facing up to 30 days in jail and or a $500 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
Yo le puedo tener un abogado a usted. Aquí le pueden
One
nombrar un
moment, Your Honor.
abogado.
Can I get a cause number for that?
It is 2535302.
Chaco, no diga nada, usted solo quiere saber lo que pasó esta mañana.
On October 22nd, 2024, the officer was conducting surveillance at a car meet in Harris County, Texas. The officer observed the defendant's motor vehicle doing donuts in the parking lot within close proximity of multiple other motor vehicles and pedestrians. The officer observed the motor vehicle's rear tires lose traction and began spinning out of control. The motor vehicle's rear end whipped around wildly within approximately 10 to 15 feet of people spectating. A traffic stop was initiated. The defendant was detained and identified with ACES.
Mr. Baldillo, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. What is your immigration status? Are you in this country with or without permission?
Permiso de este país o sin permiso.
Sin permiso.
Sin permiso. Without.
What happens if you go to jail?
Pasa si usted se va a la cárcel.
La cárcel por lo que cometí.
Well, I will go to the, I will go because I did what I did.
Are you in this country with or without permission?
Está aquí con permiso o sin permiso en este país.
Sin permiso.
Without.
What happens if you go to jail?
¿Qué pasa si va a usted a la cárcel?
Pues, no sé.
I don't know.
Think.
Piensa.
You're not in this country with permission.
No estás en este
So what happens to people who go to jail and they're not in this country with permission?
permiso y estás a la cárcel. ¿Qué pasaría?
No, pues, no sé por lo que cometí esto mal. Por lo que cometí esto mal.
I don't know, but what I did it was bad.
If you go to jail and you're not in this country with permission,
País con
immigration sweeps it on a daily basis. If they find you there, They will put an immigration detainer. You will sit in custody for about 6 to 9 months, waiting for immigration to do whatever they're going to do to you. And at that point, it's very possible they deport you to where your country of origin. Do you understand? This is your second case within the last 6 to 7 months. I'm ordering you not to drive, and I'm ordering you not to consume alcohol or illegal drugs. I'm now sending you for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your body. You're to go take a test and come right back. And if I find that you don't take the test, if you don't come back, I'm telling you now, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. No more PR bonds. And if you're unlucky enough, the next time you go to jail, you're going to be there for almost a year. Do you understand? Before you leave right now, you will be signing an affidavit with me today, promising me that you're not going to drive. I don't care what is going on in your life. If I find that you drive, I don't care what the reason is. You will be doing up to 6 months in jail because I can hold you in contempt. Do you understand? Are you here with anyone today?
No.
No.
Solo,
How old are you?
¿Qué edad tienes tú?
24.
24.
How'd you get here?
Yo estoy aquí.
Pues me trajo mi amigo.
A friend came here, right?
Come sign this. We're sending you now for a drug test. You must come right back after the test, Mr. Valdilio.
No. Okay. Okay. Todo español, okay? Todo en español. Todo español.
You tested positive for marijuana.
Fue positivo usted por marihuana.
Oh, pues.
No more.
Yeah,
If I'm going to test you 40 days from today. If I find that you test positive for marijuana again, I'm going to put you in jail. And I want you to understand that if you're not in this country with permission, you will probably get an immigration detainer. So next time you go to jail, you could be very well in there for an entire year.
Año en la cárcel.
okay.
Do not drive. You will be signing a promise with me today that you're not going to drive.
Un documento donde vas a prometer de que
Drive.
no.
I
Si
can
nos
have a
damos cuenta de que
contempt
tú estás
hearing.
manejando, te traemos, te
If they
metemos.
prove to me that you drive, I can sentence you up to 180 days in jail.
120 días.
Si tú manejes hasta 180 días en la cárcel,
Vas a manejar.
I don't care what you tell me. If I find that you do,
Te encontramos que tú lo haces.
I'm going to run a record to see if you were actually driving or not. How old are you, Mr. Valdilio?
24 como compré.
24.
Say it again.
24.
What do you do for a living?
Restaurante Korean.
I work in a restaurant.
How much money do you make a month?
Más o menos al mes que se le dinero.
Pues el veces que me sale de
Más o
1,300.
menos.
Más o menos a la me pagan quincena como 1,300 a la quincena.
1,300 every 2 weeks.
We're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer.
Vamos a dar tiempo para hacer tu propio abogado.
When you come back, you need to have a lawyer. And I'm telling you that you will get drug tested in 40 days. Do not use or consume alcohol or marijuana. If I find that you do, it's not going to go well.
Entonces, pues, no va a salir.
For now, I'm going to have you swear to us that you're not going to drive. We will get you to Victoria to sign a reset. We will then get with pre-trial for your bond conditions. And then after that, we'll let you go. And then we'll see you in 40 days and we'll test you again.
He's good with me as well.
¿Qué te parece?